One city is building bridges between the police and the community. We'll tell you where this is happening coming up next.
Also coming up tonight at 6, former Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman weighing in on day one of the Democratic National Convention and all the turmoil.
The deaf community files a complaint at the Capitol. We'll tell you what they're pushing for.
And a new four-legged officer joins a local department. We'll tell you where Josie will be helping to fight crime in a moment.
Amid rising tensions between police officers and the community they serve, an effort by one department to break down barriers. A department in Charleston, South Carolina, held a party at a local park over the weekend to get to know folks living in the area. Officers met the families, enjoyed conversation, food, music. One police sergeant says the event was in the works over the last 3 months, but that there was no better timing in the wake of recent national tragedies.
You know, due to all the world events, you know, a lot of people feel whatever feelings they have towards law enforcement. But if you could just look around, you know, you have a multitude of races here now, and everybody's been cordial. It's great. I had a great time meeting a lot of people and a lot of community support folks that came out today. So I'm really enjoying myself.
All good. The event even had a great giveaway for a child. One child won that bike. And again, South Carolina. But if you see your community coming together for events like this, report it. Use the app on your smartphone or email us at reporter@WTNH.com.
Live, News 8 at 6 starts now.
A divided Democratic Party kicks off the convention amid an email controversy. News 8 political contributor Joe Lieberman weighing in on day one of the convention.
One woman's small action is going to have a lasting impact on her grandmother. We'll tell you about that.
A severe thunderstorm watch for the shoreline until tonight, 8 p.m. tonight. Storm Team 8 meteorologist Fred Campagna tracking the storms as they make their way across the state.
We've seen some rain, thunder, and lightning coming across the shoreline. Good evening. I'm Ann Nyberg.
And I'm Scott McDonald. Let's take you outside for a live look. We're going to go to Hartford. Round of storms rolling through New Haven earlier tonight. This as we're in the middle of a heat wave. Looks pretty dark and ominous there. Let's toss it over to Storm Team 8 senior meteorologist Fred Campagna. They getting rain? They getting close to getting rain up there in Hartford?
Still a little ways away from Hartford there. I think we might just want to adjust the iris on that camera. When you look at things, as Hartford's here, rain's still way back here. A second round of storms, though, is on the way for us off to our west. And right now, it looks like some rain around Stamford. Tons of lightning. How about all those lightning strikes? Thousands literally showing up around New York City. A lot of that action, though, may go across Long Island. A little farther to the north, this area of rain is getting very close now to the Connecticut-New York border, and it puts it crossing, say, Route 7 within about the next 10 to 15 minutes and then reaching 202 just south of Torrington in about 20 minutes or so. That is not a severe thunderstorm. Bigger picture here, some strong to severe storms just off to our west. This action rolling through in the next several hours from west to east. Temperatures are still in the upper 80s up in Hartford right now, and 70s to around 80 in the areas that saw some rain earlier in the day. Dew points are in the low 70s, so it is still very muggy out there. Hour by hour showing those showers and thunderstorms rolling through. Again, the potential is there with that severe thunderstorm watch in place for some strong damaging wind gusts, torrential downpours, frequent lightning, and maybe even some hail. By 9 o'clock, any thunderstorms are moving through the eastern part of Connecticut out of the picture by 11 o'clock this evening. It stays warm and muggy overnight. So just to recap, again, it's from right now until about 10:30 this evening from west to east across the state. So if you live in the eastern part of Connecticut, it's more like after 8 or 9 o'clock this evening that your threat for some thunderstorms exists, and strong wind and hail are the main threats. More hot weather is in the forecast. I'll let you know how long this heat wave that's been going on for 5 days inland is going to last coming up in a few.
All right, thank you, Fred. And a live look at Danbury right now. Some clouds moving in, but not looking too bad. The rain definitely cooling things off a little bit, Ann.
And we're getting a lot of reported videos and photos of the rain and clouds like this over Branford just a short time ago. And this was rain pouring down in Wallingford. Boy, we need the rain. And there are a number of outages, as we've been telling you, along the shoreline because of the thunderstorms. A few hundred along the shoreline, and we are monitoring all of this.
And to keep track of the weather when you're away from the TV, download the free Storm Team app. It has the weather warnings and watches that you need to know about when you're out and about.
Now, you wrote 2016 coverage, the Democratic National Convention kicking off just 2 hours ago or so in Philadelphia. And the Democratic National Committee Chairman Debbie Wasserman Schultz did not gavel in for her party's convention. Oh boy, the decision came after she was booed and heckled this morning in Florida in wake of the email scandal that she is embroiled in, that the DNC may have favored Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders during the primaries. Wasserman Schultz has resigned amid that controversy, but she wasn't the only one to be booed today.
God to elect Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine.
And this is just the first day. The former Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders speaking to delegates this afternoon, calling for unity in the party to defeat Donald Trump.
And the WikiLeaks DNC email drop is looming large over the opening night of the convention. Chief political correspondent Mark Davis joining us live from Hartford with what News 8 political contributor, former Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman is saying about this whole thing tonight. Mark.
Good evening, Scott. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. Yeah, the former senator and vice presidential nominee says the content of these DNC emails isn't scandalous, but that's not the point.
I think they do confirm the suspicion and allegation that Bernie Sanders and his supporters had all along, that the Democratic National Committee was not neutral in the race between him and Hillary, but really was for Hillary. And that agitates the Sanders people as they come into the convention, which is exactly what the Clinton people don't want to happen.
That agitation was quite evident today when Sanders was booed by his supporters when he said that Hillary Clinton must be elected president.
As many as 40% of them right now say they won't vote for Hillary. Very few of them, maybe 5 to 9%, say they're thinking about voting for Donald Trump. The rest are going to go with the third and fourth party candidates. But that's a number that could really affect the outcome of the election. I think Sanders himself tonight is going to try real hard to unify the party, and I'm sure there are appeals from the Clinton campaign after the DNC email kerfuffle.
Lieberman says Clinton's choice of Senator Tim Kaine as running mate over the weekend indicated she doesn't feel the need to reach out to the Sanders wing of the party.
He's a good choice on the most important standard you could apply, which is that Tim Kaine is capable of being president if necessary.
On the other side, Lieberman says Donald Trump is reaching out with his vice presidential pick.
In that case, Donald Trump did what he felt he needed to do, which was to assure the base of the Republican Party by choosing one of their own, Governor Pence, that he was sincerely a conservative.
Now, Senator Lieberman also says there appears to be a strong suggestion that WikiLeaks may be releasing more DNC emails during this week, which will keep a dark cloud over the entire convention. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.
And remember, stay with News 8 for all of the Democratic National Convention coverage, not only on air, but online. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir will be live at the convention. That's at 6:30, following News 8 at 6.
Now some breaking news out of New Haven. Strong reaction from the police union just in after Police Chief Dean Esserman agrees to go on a 15-day paid leave of absence. This comes after allegations he berated an employee at a New Haven restaurant earlier this month. The next day, the police union's members voted to have a no confidence vote against him. Union saying, and we're quoting here, this is a slap in the face to the hardworking officers of the New Haven Police Department, who are the true faces of community policing. We are truly disappointed in the mayor for once again enabling this bad behavior to continue in the future, and it will, given the chief's history. The chief's leave of absence begins tomorrow. The deaf community making their stance at the Capitol and filing a complaint in an effort to get interpreters back on the job. Many say laying off these workers wiped out a vital resource for them. The state laid off 40 interpreters to save money. The group, We the Deaf People, telling us this has thrown the deaf population in the state into turmoil. Folks in the deaf community relied on these interpreters in schools, emergency rooms, and even doctors' offices.
I'm begging you to reconsider the deaf advocacy. Right now, without the deaf advocacy, there's no involvement in the deaf community, and we've lost everything, and we have nothing left. Who's going to advocate for us? And it's a very serious concern.
State plans to contract with the private agencies. Those can be found by calling 211.
A small act of kindness resonating beyond description from one local grandma. News 8's Stephanie Simone tells us how a single letter led to a life-changing gift in West Haven.
I love her with every ounce of my heart, but I cannot afford to buy her the hearing aids that she needs.
This letter brought tears and will change the life of her grandmother, 91-year-old Loretta Dianello.
She lived with us my whole life, so she took care of me when I was little, when my parents worked, and she's just always been around.
These two celebrate milestones together, play bingo, and go on many lunches. Recently, Melissa noticed Loretta's hearing fading.
It's hard for her to communicate with people too, because sometimes she couldn't hear what we had changed the subject, so sometimes she'll be behind or she'll think we're talking about something else.
It was clear she needed hearing aids, but insurance would not cover the thousands they cost.
My grandmother is the ultimate form of the amazing grandma.
So Melissa took her feelings to paper and wrote this letter to the Beltone Hearing Care Foundation, a nonprofit that donates them. Orange Beltone employee Nicole Staranovich has submitted many letters like this one, but this was the first pair to be granted.
I'm ecstatic, actually. You always want to help someone hear, and we know that sometimes, someone can't do that. They don't have the means to be able to do that.
I'd like to thank everybody who's involved in helping me to get my hearing aids for myself. I thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
A grandmother and granddaughter grateful for each other.
I love you too, Grammy.
And for the chance to be able to hear each other in full volume once again.
I want to listen to everybody talking the way we normally do, with both ears, not just one.
And all of that will start happening tomorrow after she gets fitted for 2 free hearing aids here at Beltone. In Orange, Stephanie Simone, News 8.
Bless her heart. Firefighters hard at work in Ledyard. Up next, we'll have the latest developments on a fire. High winds are making it difficult to fight.
Plus, we are tracking thunderstorms moving across the state. Storm Team 8 meteorologist Fred Campagna has your back with when the storms might arrive in your area. A developing story we're following tonight. Firefighters in Ledyard are fighting a brush fire, this in the wooded area of Gales Ferry. We're told about 5 acres burning right now. High winds making it tough to get this under control. Right now, that area is not being evacuated. No word yet on exactly what started the blaze.
Check out this little gal, Colchester Police Department's newest commissioned officer, K9 Josie. Josie just graduated from the State Police Narcotics Detection Course. She is specially trained to sniff out drugs.
All right, I want to get to the weather. Cute, right?
Absolutely.
Severe thunderstorms moving across the state. Fred is tracking them.
Well, no severe thunderstorms just yet, but that watch is in effect, and there are some storms off to our west in New York. They are heading our way. Hope the timing of these storms coming through, and I'll let you know what it looks like for the rest of the week up next.
Deep breathing to help bring a deeper sense of calm. A veteran of the war in Afghanistan is spreading that sense of calm to fellow veterans through yoga. News 8's Noel Gardner went to Madison to talk to him about his new mission.
Take a deep breath in through the nose.
Alistair Sweeney is a volunteer firefighter in Madison and a former infantry officer for the New Zealand Army. He says after serving in Afghanistan, it was difficult to transition to civilian life.
I found that just being able to rest and relax and not have 100 thoughts going on in your mind all at once really helped. We've been known to hold emotional tension in our hips.
Yoga helped Sweeney so much, he decided to share the relaxation techniques with service members and veterans.
I think that integrating some form of yoga, some form of relaxation, meditation, there's also a yoga nidra, which means yoga sleep, and that can really help people sleep.
Sweeney found that police officers and firefighters could also benefit from yoga.
And then we're going to take a deep bend in the knees.
He expanded his reach, giving free yoga sessions to emergency personnel and their family members. Donna Way is a wife of a veteran and works for the VA.
Unfortunately, we teach our young folks to go to war and use weapons to kill, and then when they come back, the post-traumatic is just, I see it in my practice.
The Madison Green is just one place Sweeney offers free yoga for veterans, firefighters, police, and their families to combat stress. Residents say they're thankful Sweeney is sharing his yoga skills with the Shoreline community.
For someone to come in from another country to embrace Madison and Connecticut and to share yoga to other folks as well as veterans. It's just fantastic.
I think that it can provide that assistance and maybe just that little bit that people need just to maybe just relax, calm down.
Reporting in Madison, Noelle Gardner, News 8.
Thank you, everyone.
It is great for the soul if you haven't done it.
Yep. All right. Fred is a busy guy tonight
Yeah.
watching these storms.
Plenty to talk about weather-wise, starting with the severe thunderstorm watch, which is in effect right now. Shoreline counties as well as Litchfield County, that's until 8 o'clock this evening. The next round of storms just about on our doorstep. Temperatures right now ranging from the mid-80s up in Hartford County to the upper 70s at the shoreline. It is very humid out there at this point, and it's going to stay muggy overnight tonight. First line of storms caused a little bit of wind damage in New Haven County as it came through and fizzled out in southeastern Connecticut, and you can see that second line now getting pretty close to the Connecticut-New York border. In fact, some rain now showing up as we get into far southwestern Connecticut, so that might probably slowing things down a little bit for anybody who's heading home from New York City. And you can see more dark yellows, oranges, and reds showing up. A few lightning strikes as well. Newburgh, New York, heading to the east right now, just crossing over in western Connecticut. And the thunderstorm threat is basically from now in western Connecticut until about 10:30 or so in eastern Connecticut. This line of storms will be moving through. Right now, it looks like there's going to be some, at least some steady rain showing up in the western half of Connecticut. So that is definitely some good news. The real nasty thunderstorms around New York City likely to stay just to our south. Well, watch what happens here, though, with these storms as they get from New York State into Connecticut. Again, that severe thunderstorm watch is still in effect. After the thunderstorm threat ends, we will see some clearing after midnight, and it's going to stay warm overnight tonight. Hot day again tomorrow, but it won't be as humid as today. Should get up to around 93 in New Haven. That's about 7 or 8 degrees warmer than it was out there this afternoon. So the front pushes through a westerly wind tomorrow, lowering humidity for us. Hot and dry right through the middle of the week. Wednesday looks about the same. Be hotter inland on Wednesday, still in the 90s inland. At the shoreline, though, a sea breeze will likely keep it in the 80s. By Thursday, partly cloudy skies. You'll see hour by hour trying to scare up a couple of showers here and there Thursday afternoon. I think it's going to stay dry, but by the time we reach Friday, that storm system heads our way, and late Friday night, and Saturday, we have the threat of some rain with some thunder. Shoreline about 73 overnight, inland around 70. The thunderstorm threat ending by around 10 o'clock this evening. It is going to stay humid tonight, but it'll turn a lot less so during the day tomorrow. 93 at the shoreline and about 92 inland with a westerly wind. That's why the temperature will be so uniform throughout the state. On Long Island Sound tomorrow, west wind at 5 to 15 knots, seas of a foot or two, water temperatures in the 70s throughout most of the Sound right now. Check out the Shoreline 8-day forecast. Warm week ahead. Unsettled, though, to round out the work week and start the weekend with some rain, maybe some thunderstorms late Friday into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon looks all right. So does Sunday. Turning a bit cooler to round out July and start the month of August, at least relatively speaking. The first couple of days of August probably in the mid-80s. 4 more days in the 90s possible inland.
Wow.
That would extend this heat wave to 9 days.
Wow, no relief inside, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, time for sports. Here's John.
Live, this is Sports Edge, sponsored by your local Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Well, it looks like a win-win. The Yankees and Chicago Cubs pulled off a big trade today. New York sent closer Aroldis Chapman to Chicago for 4 players, including the Cubs' #1 prospect, 19-year-old shortstop Gleyber Torres. Former Yankee Adam Warren also part of the deal, as are a couple of minor league outfielders. Chapman, a 5-time All-Star, fills a huge hole in the Cubs roster. They needed a reliever. They got one of the best in the big leagues. Chapman has 20 saves heading to Chicago. You can catch the Yankees in action tonight on MyTV9. The Bombers visit George Springer and the Houston Astros, an 8-10 start. Springer, the Connecticut kid and former UConn star, enjoying a career year so far for the Stros. NFL training camps start this week. A couple of former UConn Husky standouts are hoping to be NFL teammates when the regular season starts. Anthony Sherman is a lock to make the Kansas City Chiefs roster again. The punishing fullback and special teams player has already made his mark in 5 NFL seasons. Wide receiver Kashif Moore, very talented. Well, he signed with KC in the offseason. He's had his shot with 5 other NFL teams and hopes this one sticks.
You got to have that mentality that, you know, you're never going to quit. And that's something that I've always had in my mind, you know, to keep that faith, you know, that, you know, I'm going to keep riding this thing till the wheels fall off.
I always knew if I worked hard, the opportunity could happen. And I've taken the most of it. And I just try to make sure that no one is outworking me in any way, and try to keep my head to the ground and do the best I can.
Both guys part of a very successful UConn program. Moore is one of 13 receivers in the Chiefs' preseason camp. Time for a quick break. When we come back, Michael Jordan is digging into his pockets, and we'll talk Team USA basketball, a former Husky still going strong in Olympic play. Michael Jordan has spoken out on the nation's growing racial and social unrest, and he wants to try to help. Jordan lost his father in an act of violence, and he announced he's donating $2 million to a couple of organizations that are working to build trust between law enforcement and the communities in which they work. Jordan has been criticized in the past for not speaking out on social issues. The WNBA season is on hold. Team USA is huddled up. They got together on Saturday. There's not much time before they get ready for the Olympic Games in Rio. Fortunately, Gina Auriemma is working with the female version of the Dream Team that includes 5 former UConn Huskies led by the oldest of the bunch, Sue Bird. Auriemma says rest in the offseason helped Bird stay the best point guard in the world.
She's never felt better. She's never been in better shape. She's never been mentally and physically better prepared to play. When you take that physical part of it and then realize that she's also the smartest player in the league. Those two things, when you put them out on the court, you look around and you go, okay, I get it. She's still the best point guard in America. Got it.
How about in the world? Team USA plays Friday night at Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport. They take on Canada. It's a doubleheader. Australia and France are also playing. Could be the gold, silver medal teams.
That's a game worth seeing there. All those ladies together.
Yeah, it's the best of the best.
Really, it is.
Thanks so much, John.
All right.
Okay, Fred.
Next line of thunderstorms closing in on us here, moving into western Connecticut right now. Severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. Litchfield County and all of the shoreline counties. Best chance of a strong to severe thunderstorm is in the next couple of hours and in the western half of Connecticut. Looking all the way down the road to the coming weekend, Saturday about 84, also on Sunday in that same ballpark, so it won't be as hot by then. There is the possibility of some rain on Saturday, especially during the morning. Sunday looking like a blend of clouds and sunshine and seasonable conditions. Pretty nice way to round out the month.
Okay, sounds good. And if you are out and about, remember you can download the Storm Team app for weather right in the palm of your hand. You can track the storms wherever you may be. And stick with News 8 as we track these storms across the state. That's our time for now.
Good night. See you later.
See ya.